Ukraine needs of heavy armored vehicles have been heard. US Bradley in quantity of around 100 pieces soon will arrive to Ukrainian soil and will join the major battle of the 21st century. Having good armor and heavy armament, including 25mm Bushmaster chain gun and a pair of TOW anti-tank missiles, M2 Bradley can play a vital role during future both offensive and defensive operations against Russian forces. Let's take a look of what the US Bradley capable of and find out why Russian generals fear them more than German Leopard tanks. On January 5th, US President Joseph Biden and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced their decision to send 50 Bradley's fighting vehicle and 40 Marder infantry fighting vehicle to Ukraine. This announcement came out the day after France's decision to send an unspecified number of AMX-10 RC wheeled light tanks. Later, after the 8th Ramstein summit in Germany, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced new $2.5 billion security assistance package that include additional 59 Bradley fighting vehicles.
And this morning, I was pleased to announce another major round of U.S. security assistance. It includes 59 additional Bradley infantry fighting vehicles.
Ukraine is now in dire need of new weapons, and armored vehicles is no exception. With the onset of the cold season, Ukraine entered a new and very difficult phase of the war. After the mobilization in Russia, Putin managed to gather a large group of troops and strengthen the defense line. According to Russian authorities, around 300,000 soldiers were mobilized, but Russian independent agency Meduza stated that the number may reach to 1.2 million people. Thanks to this, the Russian army has achieved some tactical successes in the Donetsk direction. In particular, after months of heavy fighting and numerous casualties from both sides, Russian forces still managed to capture the city of Soledar, Donetsk region, and Ukrainian troops withdrew, fortified the outskirts of the city. Some experts claim that this is not the last success of the Russian troops, and in the near future they possibly will be able to take the city of Bakhmut, which after fierce fighting looks like a ruin. The US Army M2 Bradley was made in 1981 in response to the Soviet BMP family of infantry fighting vehicles. The vehicle was named for World War II Army General Omar Bradley. He commanded the 1st United States Army during the invasion of Normandy and later was promoted to the 5-star rank of General of the Army. There are several variants of M2 Bradleys. The last M2A4 equipped with a new 675 horsepower engine and improved electronic systems, but there are very few of them. The US Army plans to produce about 700 M2A4s until 2029. Most likely, US will send to Ukraine M2A2 version with ODS improvements. There are many of them already deployed in Eastern Europe, specifically in Poland and Latvia, and it just makes more sense to transfer them directly to Ukraine, especially since almost all military aid transferred to Ukraine through Poland. The entire Bradley family was originally designed to support the M113 armored personnel carrier, but eventually replaced it. By the way, 200 of M113s has already been transferred by the United States to Ukraine in 2022. Many experts, even Russian experts, call this armored vehicle a legend. There is a good reason to it. With its vast combat history and successful completed operations, M2 Bradley proved itself as a weapon that could change the course of war. Notably, during the 1991 Gulf War, Bradleys destroyed more Iraqi tanks than the M1 Abrams, and only 3 were lost to enemy fire. So let's start with the protection. In the original configuration, the Bradley received a multi-layer composite armor capable of withstanding Soviet 14.5mm machine gun fire. Later, additional spaced laminate armor was installed, fitted to the hull, sides, and rear. Kevlar spall liners were added to critical areas. ODS version also received explosive reactive armor. Now, with this set of protection, Bradley can withstand impact from automatic 30mm gun mounted on Russian BMP-2 and BMP-3. This is true for more modern Russian armored vehicles, but if we take back the older BMP-1, which is also used by Russia in the conflict, they have 73mm smoothbore semi-automatic gun A228 Chrome. This gun could damage the American Bradley, but it has major accuracy issues. Also, there is no stabilization, and it can't fire while the vehicle is moving. All this also applies to some extent to the newer 100mm gun mounted on the BMP-3. The M2 Bradley is also fitted with NBC protection system. As of the protection of Russian BMPs, it is much weaker than that of an American counterpart. And this is primarily due to the weak chassis. Well, don't get me wrong, it is good, but only for its original weight. And if you put extra armor, composite block or dynamic protection, lifespan of chassis will reduce radically. As of the Bradley chassis, many claims it to be one of the best in the world. It is also equipped on M270 multiple launch rocket system, and it's just fit for the Ukrainian terrain. To sum it up, the Bradley is a heavier and slower vehicle than the BMP, but it is also much secure. Now let's talk about firepower and why they call it a tank killer.
It's not a tank, but it's a tank killer.
Vehicle is armed with a two-man turret fitted with a 25mm dual-fed M242 Bushmaster chain gun, coaxial 7.62mm machine gun, and TOW anti-tank guided missile launcher. Turret has a great stabilization and protection, which allows to use main gun on the run effectively and accurately. Integrated Sight Unit, or ISU, provided thermal capability and permits the commander and the gunner to see the same picture. The main weapon has an effective range of 3000 meters, depending on the type of ammunition used. It can fire both armor-piercing and high-explosive rounds. With its firepower, it leaves no chance for low-armored Russian BMPs or BTRs. But what about Russian tanks? Well, despite the fact that there is a record of damaging Soviet M72M1 tank during the Battle of 73 Easting in Iraq, this 25mm gun won't be able to destroy modernized Russian T-72B3 and T-90M Prorif. But for that reason, M2 Bradley, equipped with pair of BGM-71 TOW anti-tank guided missile launchers mounted on the left side of the turret. After firing the missile, the launch transmits flight data to the missile's guidance system. The missile can reach any target within range of 3.75 kilometers. TOW system delivers increased lethality and accuracy, especially under the toughest battlefield conditions, and it's designed to defeat armored vehicles and main battle tanks. For penetration of tanks provided with explosive reactive armor, TOW-2 is equipped with a tandem warhead. A small disruptor charge detonates the reactive armor and allows the main shaped charge to penetrate the main armor. Russian YouTuber and a military expert Hellfire, commenting Bradleys and TOW missiles, said that this weapon has armor penetration of about 900mm with a range of 3.75 kilometers. It poses a serious danger even for the most advanced Russian tanks, such as a T-90M Prorif. This statement can be interpreted as following: Russian tanks have no chance against this weapon. The M2 carries 7 TOW anti-tank guided missiles. In terms of optics and electronic system, upgraded ODS variants were fitted with an eye-safe laser rangefinder and tactical navigation system with a GPS receiver, as well as missile countermeasure device that could defeat first-generation wire-guided missiles and potentially could stop Russian 9M113 Konkurs and 9K111 Fagot. Include to this great thermal imaging system that can help to operate at night and in adverse weather conditions. Aside from sending Bradley to Ukraine, the new aid package will include training of Ukrainian troops on how to operate and maintain the Bradleys. An interesting point is that American NATO brigade, which is relocating from the Netherlands to Poland and Baltics, can deploy their maintenance and support centers for needs of Ukrainian army. And this is not all. Damaged Bradley will not just wait for repair, but it will be replaced immediately by available vehicle in the NATO brigade in Poland. This will reduce the repair time by a lot. The US Army is now engaged in a program to replace Bradley with a more modern infantry fighting vehicle. As part of the New Generation Combat Vehicle program, the US Army creating variants that will replace M113 Armored Multipurpose Vehicle, M1 Abrams main battle tanks, and will create RCV or Robot Combat Vehicle in light, medium, and heavy configurations. The US Army awarded contracts to all the best global manufacturers and defense companies like British BAE System, American Raytheon, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, German Rheinmetall, and others. Projects are scheduled to be completed by 2035.